Hello.
Hi,
Could you state your name for the record?
I'm Christopher Benefield.
Hi, Christopher. Do me a quick favor and go ahead and describe yourself for me.
Well, I'm Christopher, go by Chris. 21 years old. I'm a gay male, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, Atlanta. I hear good things about Atlanta. I hear the traffic is quite crazy.
Yeah, traffic is it's beautiful to be around.
Completely understand. So, what type of community would you say that Atlanta is?
Atlanta is a very diverse community. You have every race here, essentially, and all types of sexualities, all types of people here from all over the globe. I would say it's definitely the cultural hub of the South. So,
Okay, so it's a big melting pot of different sort of
yes,
cultures.
yes.
Okay, that's completely understandable. How long would you say you've lived in Atlanta?
Well, I grew up here up until I was about 12 or 13. Then I moved to Alabama. And then I moved back here at the age of 18. So I've been here for my whole lifetime, about maybe 16 years, 17 years.
Okay, so you know quite a bit about the Atlanta area, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. What sort of environmental changes have you noticed since since you've been there for so long?
I have noticed every summer and winter has gotten extremely like hotter, essentially. Like even like in our winter time, like we still get like days that feel just like the summer.
Oh wow, that's not really normal, I assume, for that sort of area.
No, when I was younger, we did not have that. We actually had cold winters and they were like consistently cold.
Okay, that kind of reminds me of when I was a child. There was always a my birthday's in February, so when February roll around, there's usually snow on the ground. But I'd say maybe the last 4 or 5 years, there's not really we haven't gotten loads of snow, so I completely understand.
Yeah, we used to I feel like growing up we had like more snow days than we do now. Like I feel like when I was younger we had at least like 5 to 6, maybe seven like snow days a year. Now it's maybe one or two. If that. Sometimes we don't even get like snow days. So
Okay, so climate is definitely starting to change in your area as you get older. You would say.
most definitely.
Okay, that's understandable. How has any other like climate events happened in your community? Has there any been like any heat waves? Has it rained a lot? What other sort of environmental changes have you noticed?
Nothing else except the heat waves.
Okay, that's understandable. Would you say that climate changes influences your day to day activities?
It definitely can because like some days I want to go out and like go for like a walk or something, but I'm not able to due to the fact it's so hot.
Okay, so I assume that that's something you probably think about day in and day out.
Yes, I definitely do factor that into my daily decisions. Like I'll end up just staying inside instead of going outside and going hiking.
Okay, that's understandable. I'm definitely one of those people who love the outdoors. So if it got too hot where I couldn't, be outside, that would definitely sort of make me feel slightly different than I normally would, depressed even to say the least.
Hmm.
Would you say that it's influenced or affected anyone else in your life?
I can say because my brother he works in the construction industry that there has been times that he's come back home and like literally been like in the air conditioning and his skin would still be hot because it's so hot outside and he's experiencing like heat exhaustion. Like it'll like take him out for like a day or so.
I'm sorry to hear that. I definitely can understand, though, working with the elements, that it could take a toll on you. I used to be a mail carrier for quite some time, and man, I tell you, those 40, 50 miles of walking would take a toll on your body. Even after you've gotten home, you've gotten settled, you can kind of still feel the residual effect of that. So I can definitely relate to that. Would you say that climate issues have affected your overall community? And if so, if has it affected any demographic of people any particular way?
I can say sometimes there have been times like me and my friends were about to go hiking or going somewhere, and like it was just way too hot that we just decided like no, we're actually just gonna go bowling or something or doing something indoors rather than us like partaking in like exercise outside and hiking. I would say this would definitely influence the Hispanic community, in my opinion, due to the fact that the construction, landscaping are like mainly like outdoor industries have primarily like the main demographic in that are Hispanic Americans. So I would say this can definitely affect them more so than other demographics.
Okay, and you're basically saying because of their time spent outdoors.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. And has climate issues, climate change, environmental health issues, has it impacted your personal health?
There has like been a couple times like I started getting kind of dehydrated and like a little bit disoriented due to the fact it's been so hot.
Yeah, studies do say that there's extreme health concerns surrounding sort of environmental issues like heat waves and increasing temperatures. So that can definitely be an effect on your body. Let's see. I do have a few more questions here, Christopher. I won't hold you up too long. I know that you said the Hispanic community is probably the demographic of people who's most impacted by heat waves. How would you say they've been able to manage that sort of scenario?
Honestly, just drinking more water, or I know my brother he invested in this little device that like he puts like on his waist, and it's like a little fan, and it like blows up his shirt essentially.
Oh, nice.
So I do know that from like personal experience.
Okay. And so it hasn't really made much impact on your overall health.
With me, no.
Okay, that's understandable. It affects everybody differently, so that's completely understandable. What sustainability practices would you say you'd like to see implemented to improve the overall health of your community?
I would like to see like more electric cars, people being more conscious of their carbon footprint and more regulations like on because like here in the Atlanta area we have a ton of factories, and I would love to see more like regulations on like what they actually put into the environment, because I have noticed as well that if you're walking in Atlanta, the rain there is kind of sticky almost. It's not like you don't even feel like real water.
Oh, wow.
Versus you going to somewhere, let's say like in rural Georgia or like even Alabama or South Georgia, the rain there feels like water. But here it's almost like sticky. You even notice it like on your windshield as well.
Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever paid much attention to that, but I will make a note to look into that and see if there's some sort of chemical reaction that's happening with the rain as it, falls down. So I'll definitely look into that. Sorry, my dogs are having a time over there. I'll give them just a moment to get themselves together. I'm going to skip around here a little bit. I might have these in this particular order, but when you brought up the factories, it made me think, are there loads of people who are living near factories that are impacted by climate issues?
Yes, actually, they just had a announcement here in northwest Atlanta in Vinings, Georgia. Um, they had like a factory there. I forgot what happened to it, but they said the people like in that area were more susceptible to cancers, and they were like offering like money to people in that area if they like got a certain type of cancer just due to the fact the factory being right there.
I can definitely see that as a concern. There's a factory in the Houston area, the downtown Texas Houston area, where it's sort of the same thing. There are so many people who live in that area that had certain cancers that they have been diagnosed with, and so the factories, in order to mitigate that, they sort of were trying to buy people's homes who lived in the nearby area, as well as compensate those who were affected by, essentially the cancers that were developed there. So I can definitely understand that when you live in those sort of areas, it could definitely have a major impact on you.
Yeah, and also I have noticed you were speaking about demographics earlier that they tend to build the factories around like majority Black and Hispanic neighborhoods in this area, and that seems to be like the demographic that is affected the most by the factories.
Yeah, there's a most people when they think of like discriminatory practices, when they think of racism, they think of how one person affects another, but they don't really, delve deeper into there's environmental racism as well. People who live in certain demographics, certain areas, they're more susceptible to flooding or, pollutions due to factories, that sort of thing. So I can definitely understand you when you say that. Let's see. How does politics in your area determine the impact on climate health in your local community?
Georgia is mainly ran by conservatives. I could say like in like our state Congress and like our state government, it is all Republicans and conservative Republicans at that. So I would say with that, they don't really do too much to help the climate here. They're more so about efficiency because we're like a growing state as well, and like I guess a more rich state compared to others in the southeast. So like they're more so like trying to keep that up rather than them being concerned about the climate health in this area.
Okay, and so this kind of piggybacks off of what you previously stated, and you talked about it a little bit, but would you say that the political parties in your community, they're not really taking climate health issues serious?
Most definitely not. No.
Okay. So with that being said, considering the local level, how would you say the government is doing towards making an impact in your community or even the nearby communities towards climate change?
Well, I can say now that I think about it, the city of Atlanta and like some like the outer suburbs, like where I live at, they have integrated HOV lanes for like carpooling and stuff like that. So I can say that is one effort that I have personally seen for them to, help with the climate. And then also they have like integrated self-driving like Ubers essentially, like they're called Waymos, and they're electric cars, but like they drive like people from one place to another. And then they have like deliveries like by like electrical robots.
Okay, that's actually a really good. Those are really good points. Mostly because transportation is probably the leading cause of greenhouse, carbon emissions, and so essentially, when you're able to minimize the amount of transportation that is required, you can start to really see an impact towards climate change and more sustainable practices. But this brings me to my last question. Actually, that was the last question. I do appreciate your time. Is there anything that you would like to add that might have not been covered, or anything that you'd like to discuss?
No, I don't have other questions or anything for you.
Awesome. Well, I do appreciate your time, Christopher, and I'll be sending you over a copy of this recording so that you have it for your record, okay?
All right. Well, thank you.
No problem. Have a good day.